about like lying and stuff, like that little guy. What do you reckon it is that makes us lie? Just off the top of your head, out there, what are some of the reasons that we lie?
Fear.
Fear, right. So fear of what, judgment?
Yeah.
Yeah, punishment, those sorts of things. Yeah, any other thoughts on it?
Wanting to be accepted.
Wanting to be accepted, totally. So it's that whole avoiding things that you think someone else might judge you on, or even exaggerating the truth a little bit, like, oh, I lifted, you know, X amount of weights the other day at a gym, and it's like, yeah, no, you didn't. What else? What other reasons do you reckon? Yeah, protecting people from the truth, totally. And sometimes I reckon protecting yourself from the truth as well. Like a lot of the time, and something I'm going to draw on is that we lie to ourselves. It happens, right? Not being comfortable with the truth. Yeah, and sometimes we just have a secret. Don't want to tell you, gonna lie about it. This is things that we do, not necessarily good, sometimes protection, maybe you could justify it, I don't know. Like a lot of different situations that we have, right? I find it really amazing how we can lie to ourselves, how we can believe something in our heads even when all the evidence points to the contrary. So say for example when you're making a tea, I do tea a lot, and there's a packet of Tim Tams, and you're like, I have been so good today, you know, I've worked really hard all morning, and you're thinking, I really procrastinated for most of the morning, but I'm not going to tell myself that, and I deserve this Tim Tam. And you know, yesterday I was so good. I had sushi for lunch, and at that point you're ignoring the 3 Tim Tams that you had before bed, and you're ignoring the Macca's for breakfast, and you're like, I've been so good, I'm just going to have this Tim Tam, and you open the Tim Tam, and it's the last in the packet, and you're going, I'm still having the Tim Tam. It's this lying to yourself, right? We do it all the time. We justify, we lie to ourselves. And it happens every day, right? Think about it. We go to the pub, we're sitting there, you've got some sort of political view or religious view maybe, or even an opinion on the type of pizza or a beer that you like better than another, and someone else says an opinion on, ooh, you know, completely opposite to yours, and you're like, maybe I'm not going to say what I was just about to say, or, you know, maybe I'll modify what I was just about to say a little bit, just to make this social ease a little bit easier. We do it all the time. We have such a strong desire to fit in and a strong desire to avoid judgment, both externally with other people and also within ourselves. And I'm just going to expand on that story a little bit and chat to you a bit about it. I had a lot of fun looking up YouTube videos of that story. There was one in particular that I thought was hilarious, and it's a remake. If you've got some spare time this week, it's a remake of Rihanna's Umbrella, but it's Woman at the Weller, yeah, it's really good. Check that one out. But I settled on this one, you know. I think it really captures the reality of the times. You know, you really get this feeling that the Samaritan woman, she's an outcast. She's totally judged by others, and she's totally judged by herself. It shows that her thirst is real deep, and it's deeper than a physical thirst. It's a deep desire to be loved and accepted for who she is. And I actually think that the woman in the Bible is a lot more human and a lot less insightful than basically all of the YouTube clips that you get. They kind of all paint this picture of a woman who is an outcast, who gets to the well, who meets Jesus, and Jesus like starts talking to her, and then he tells her everything about himself, and she goes, oh my goodness, you're God, and then she goes, wow, I feel completely loved, I feel completely accepted, and I don't care what anyone thinks, I'm going to go and talk to everyone about it. And I really just don't think that that's the way that the Bible puts it. I think that the Bible actually has a lot more confrontation and a lot more discomfort and a lot more avoidance of the issues than the YouTube clips have, right? So I wanted to kind of go through the interaction from where the Bible has it. So Jesus, he's sitting at this Samaritan well, and he's a Jew. I'm sure you've got by now that they weren't really friends. And he makes the first move, right? He asks her for water. In doing that, he crosses so many social boundaries, right? Jew Samaritan, he's a man, she's a woman, and he kind of appeals to thirst, this basic human need, like he's equalizing right there in that one question. And the woman gets it. She's like, how can you ask me for a drink? What are you doing, you know? And Jesus then kind of plays the I'm someone famous you don't know card, right? And he goes, if you knew who I was, then you would have asked me for a drink, and I would have given you living water. And he's inviting her to relationship in that, right? He's asked her for water, and then he's saying, well, if you knew who I was, you would ask me for water. Come on, let's engage here, right? And her reply basically says, you're insane, right? Because she basically goes, you have nothing to get it with. You're talking about living water. What even is that, right? And you think you're better than Jacob, who actually built this well, and this well has been giving our ancestors water for years and years and years? You're crazy. What are you doing? Read in, you're delusional, right? And Jesus needs to pull out something really impressive here to get her on board. And so he goes for the magical water trick, right? Not the one where he turns it into wine, though I'm sure that would have pulled her on board as well. But the one where he goes, anyone that drinks this water will actually never thirst again. And I think that the reason that actually really scores a point with this woman is that she hates going there for water. Think about a place that you hate going. It might be work. It might be, or has been, school. It might be church. It might be a family gathering. It might be a coffee with a certain friend that you just dread. You just don't want to go there. Maybe it's about judgment on you from being there. Maybe it's about the feeling that no one understands or no one understands you. She'd get that every single day, going to get water, which is a basic thing that she needed. It would be a constant reminder of her low opinion of herself and her low opinion in that whole community when the other woman would look at her. I mean, you would be wanting to believe in some miracle water that would last forever if you were in that situation, right? And Jesus knows. And that's why I find the next thing that he says almost rude. He's really pushing the friendship here. He knows her dread, he knows her ostracism, he knows her fear of judgment. He can tell by the fact that she's not actually there with the women at the time that they go. She's gone later in the day to go there for water. And he knows that she's interested in the living water, and he goes, go and get your husband. Now this is where the line comes in, right? Because she knows that she has actually had 5 husbands, and that the man that she's with isn't her husband. And she knows that truth, but she doesn't really want to share that with a stranger, especially after the ostracism that she usually gets. Her thought process seems to be, how can I most easily put this so I can tell the truth, but not the whole truth, right? Does that sound familiar? I know that for me, with my first girlfriend, it was basically a secret from everybody, even my parents, right? And we were kind of on and off because we believed that the Bible said that we couldn't be together. And so on one occasion, my dad came up to me and he goes, are you in a relationship with this girl? And I stopped for a moment, and then I went, of course not! And kind of laughed, and really what I meant was, of course not right now, we broke up 2 days ago! But, it's the truth. We went together right then, but it wasn't really what he was getting at, right? And I'm sure that we've all got those sorts of examples of truth-telling. It's just something that we do, avoiding judgment, avoiding stigma. I think we don't own the truth of our lives sometimes. We transform it to fit the person that we're with. We do it with sexuality, we do it with spirituality. Heck, we do it over the type of pizza that we want, So, the woman